Ladies and gentlemen, our next panel examines the digital transitions of the air cargo ecosystem. Paper to platform, transforming air cargo digitally, one record at a time. As the industry moves towards smarter, faster, and more integrated operations, today's discussion will focus on how digitization improves operational visibility, enhances collaboration, and creates commercial advantages for stakeholders across the air cargo chain. First, I would like to invite on stage our absolutely wonderful moderator for this panel discussion, Mr. Yashpal Sharma, Chairman and Managing Director, Skyways Group. This dynamic leader is a true logistics powerhouse with a strategic vision. He has led the company to new heights, making it a global leader in air and ocean freight. Welcome, Mr. Sharma. Next, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Halit, VP Cargo Sales, MEASA, Turkish Cargo. With extensive experience in air freight markets and network expansion, he drives commercial strategy and regional cargo connectivity while strengthening Turkish Cargo's presence across emerging trade corridors. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to call on stage Ms. Anna Maria Kirchner, Head of Global Sales, Marketing, Product and Sustainability, Finnair Cargo. She focuses on expanding the carrier's global network, enhancing digital cargo solutions, and integrating sustainability through initiatives like SAF and green terminal infrastructure. Welcome, Ms. Anna. Next, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Kunal Maheshwari, Chief Growth Officer, Softlink Global. With a proven track record in international logistics and supply chain development, he drives strategic expansion while focusing on creating integrated logistics solutions, strengthening global networks, and enhancing cross-border freight capabilities. Welcome, Mr. Maheshwari. Moving on, next I would like to invite on stage Mr. Sreenivas Rao Nandigam, Global Head of Supply Chain, Sun Pharma. He oversees procurement, production, logistics, and worldwide distribution for one of India's largest pharmaceutical companies. With deep expertise in pharmaceutical supply coordination and compliance, he ensures robust, efficient, and regulatory compliant delivery across global markets. Welcome, Mr. Rao. Next, I would like to invite on stage Mr. R. Sampath Raghavan, Head EXIM and Logistics, Raymond Lifestyle Limited, Garmenting Division. With strong expertise in supply chain coordination, international freight, and customs compliance, he ensures efficient global sourcing and timely delivery for one of India's foremost apparel exporters. Welcome, Mr. Raghavan. And Mr. Sharma, over to you. Have a wonderful panel discussion.
Thank you. Hello. Am I audible? Thank you, Lady in the Green. Thank you very much for handing over the stage to us. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is here. We can shut the door. The ones who stay out can stay out. The ones who are in, enjoy the show. Thank you very much, my lovely panel, for joining in. It's a pleasure to be here on the day one of IICS 2025, one of the great shows, one of the best shows around the world in the field of logistics. It's a pleasure to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, India obviously is taking huge, gigantic steps to grow towards the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of Viksit Bharat 2047. Few pillars that are key for the growth of India to 2047 developed India dream. One of the key pillars to that is digitalization. While the whole world today is talking about technology being digital, AI, which is artificial intelligence, not just Air India, it is imperative that each stakeholder in the air cargo industry imbibes the technology not just as a tool, but as a way of life. Air cargo industry has always been very, very data intensive. A lot of information, data that flows right from the point of origin, which is the shipper, to the point of destination, to the buyer. The entire range of stakeholders in between, whether it is trucker, custom broker, freight forwarder, warehousing, terminal operations, airports, airlines, and the same set on the other side, or technology service providers. The entire set of stakeholders are trying to stitch this chain to make it seamless. While we are trying to do that, there are definitely certain challenges, and there may be challenges in each or a few individual companies, and there could be challenges that you could see going across the companies. As the saying goes, you can only be as strong as the weakest link. So if in the entire chain, even if there's one link which is not digital, which is not connected, which is not integrated, it would mean the flow of goods from point of origin to the point of destination will not be seamless. I have an amazing panel. I have a couple of big shippers from India. I have an amazing young tech entrepreneur. We have a lovely lady who's had a great tech experience coming into India this morning. She'll talk about it. I will not. And we have Halit Bey, who is another airline coming in from Europe, Turkish Airlines. So we have a great panel here. I'm here, a freight forwarder. You can fit me anywhere, wherever you feel like. We are a Stepney. We can be fitted anywhere that you want. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get going on the panel. Though the previous panel spoke a lot on tech, so we were kind of feeling that our topic is being hijacked or kidnapped. But let's get straight into the panel. And I want to get perspective of the panel here, and I want to give them an opening time to talk about how they view technology in their own space, and how do you see integrating with the entire air cargo chain. We'll start with both the shippers, and then we'll move on to the service provider. So,
yeah, thank you very much, Yashpal, for the introductions and also setting the context in. And I was also equally intrigued when I was sitting and actually listening to the previous panel about digitization, AI, and you setting up the context for the Viksit Bharat, etc. So, indeed, from a shipper point of view, as far as we are concerned, we want to give it away. We want to give our material across to, let's say, a freight forwarder, and then, ideally speaking, it should be a black box for me, as long as actually the person receiving on the other end is receiving the goods as promised on time and in good shape at with the same pricing, whatever has been mentioned. But having said that, visibility has become extremely important because customers have also become very demanding. Let me give you an example. Today, when you do, let's say, e-commerce or a quick commerce, and when you ask for a shipment of, let's say, 200 rupees on an Amazon, you ask for a particular book to be shipped, you can see the complete history, geography. That book has been shipped from here to here, from, it has been unloaded in Delhi, from Delhi, it has been taken away by the carrier, and then has come to Mumbai, from Mumbai come to the last mile delivery, etc., etc. Now, all this thing on Amazon, for example, why Amazon? Even quick commerce, which is what I think, the previous panel also spoke about. In the 9-minute span, people would want to kind of look at it, that where is my courier boy? Yeah, in the 10 minutes delivery time, which may not be a good context for you, Anna, but in India, we have a 10-minute quick commerce delivery. So we would want to see on our mobile, where is our, product, and all these products, trust me, are not more than $5, $10. And here, when we as shippers are shipping millions of dollars of worth of goods, would love to have that visibility, which will actually happen through digitization, integration, AI, and I can talk about it, but I want to kind of say that from a shipper's perspective, ideally it was a black box at some point in time, but digitization has actually helped us to kind of see the various stages of what is happening to the shipment. So that's a shipper's perspective, I would say. Would you like to add something, Sampath?
So, Mr. Srini, before Mr. Sampath takes over, so interesting thought from a shipper's perspective that, once you hand over the boxes, it's like a black box. You don't want to know anything. You want everything to flow. But being the originator of data as well as the cargo, I think everything starts from the shipper. You know, the buck starts with you and then flow forward. Historically, what we've seen is documents flow all the way. Even now, a lot of documentation flow, even if it's in the soft form, but it's the documentation flow. So I would, Mr. Sampath, would like to hear you out as to how you see it, that how the origination of data could probably get improved from a shipper perspective, so that, you know, the further stakeholders in the chain could use it better.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Good evening, all. Taking a leave out of what the moderator as well as Srini was talking about, you know. So we are a supply chain company. Raymond is a supply chain company. And then basically that when we talk about international business, I had a commercial operation for the B2B business, manufacturing private label for all the reputed brands in the world. So in the fashion industry, what we look at is basically we would want to take away the supply chain pain of a customer who will be mostly indulging himself in brand promotion, retailing, and things like that. But supply chain is a different ballgame altogether. So I think that we as shippers are only going to be a subset of his requirements, and then we'll have to fulfill that requirement. So going down further, what happens is that we look at logistics companies as a subset of our deliverables, so that, you know, so we can partially offload our pain points or our deliverables to the logistics industry. Of course, airline plays a very useful role in all these things. So, you know, basically that we need to see how we can adapt and seamlessly meet the customer's needs. So while we are talking about all these things, the one common factor which the customer will always be looking at is what is his order position. The moment that he places the order, what is his order position? So then manufacturing, of course, we give real visibility. So I'll come to it later during the session, how we adapt and give visibility in our manufacturing process as well. But basically that we need to see that, as Srini was saying, you know, actually we need to see how we are able to offload the entire thing in the logistics domain to freight forwarders, airlines, and things like that. Airline being the theme here, you know, so we can offload that, and how technology can integrate into giving a visibility to the ultimate customer, not only to the shipper, because shipper is in the second rung. The first rung is the customer. So how we meet his requirements. That's one of the things that we need to talk about today.
So very interesting perspective Mr. Sampath has thrown out, which is that the end customer today wants complete visibility. Now from, you know, somebody like Raymond's and Sun Pharma, who've got large manufacturing capabilities, to looking at certain new age buyers like Shein, Temu, who are big e-tailers of the world today. They are empowering the end customer to be able to get that power to order now and get a product which is not even started getting manufactured yet in the next 3 to 7 days. That's the power that, you know, logistics has given to some of these new age customers. So you're very right that in the world today, it is the customer at the other end, the ultimate user, who's defining the rules of the game. Kunal, before I get to the carriers, you know, you're sitting right in between, and we need technology to be right in the center. So how do you see this space? How do you see the customer, the shipper, the freight forwarder, the carrier? How do you see this space currently?
Sure. Thanks, Yashpal. I think, you know what, I sit at a very unique position here. Most of my customers are either a customer or a vendor to all the people sitting on the panel, right? We work with 5,500 freight forwarders across 50 countries, and we are in a very vantage position to see how the data flows from end to end. And now it's no longer about digitalization, okay? They want the data to travel smartly across their entire ecosystem. Now let's look at how these freight forwarders evolved. It was paper, right? Manual operations, delays. It became digital. Your e-airway bill, your API connectivity. But now they are ready to move towards the intelligent stream of data, which means that how can the data which they have created can be passed on to probably the next person in the ecosystem, which becomes very critical here. And to put it in the right manner, I think the key element here is data interoperability. If you have data in multiple systems, in disintegrated systems, no way your data can ever be intelligent. All right? The only way to make the data intelligent is to make sure that the stream is clear. And what I'm seeing from my position is that logistics service providers are at the most rapid pace at adopting technology. I've never seen such a pace. Over the last 3 years, the pace has been massive. What is enabling this? They are now ready to make sense of this data. Right now, they were just digitalizing, which is nothing but moving from paper to, let's say, having a system to put in the data, right? Now they want more. They want seamless exchange of data, either through API, either through two connected systems. And where AI is playing an important role, let me tell you this. AI is making the repetitive tasks for these freight forwarders, the time consumed for these freight forwarders to do these repetitive tasks, go down, right? Almost by 90 to 95%. Now they are realigning their teams to make sure that the data is accurate, the data is smart, the data is more valuable to the entire ecosystem. So they are on the verge to accept an ecosystem where a data can flow seamlessly. I think, again, what I said at the start, the key word here becomes data interoperability. Till the time you cannot have two systems which can talk to each other, the data will always remain in silos. And I think it is very important for us to move away from silos.
Cannot agree more. So, a few years ago, or maybe a few decades ago, we saw the evolution of integrators in this world. And, they came in as a threat to carriers, freight forwarders, some of the other service providers. In the new age today, in the new e-tailer age today, it is actually even threatening shippers, right? Because, like I said, today, these e-tailers of the world, these big, even social commerce players in the world, they're empowering the buyer to control who manufactures for them. And so the manufacturing could be different. One shoe to another shoe could be completely different, could be manufactured in different parts of the world. So this is not just threatening, the people on this side, but also on the other side. And it's very interesting what you said about, the push and the pull of data, because you cannot have data being pushed or pulled. Either way, it's something which is manually intervened. What we want is a seamless integration, which needs to function. Let's get on to the carriers, get their perspective, and we'll roll back into this discussion. Halit, maybe we'll get the lady last. She just needs a little more time.
Thank you so much. Once again, as a carrier, I think we are in the same page with the stakeholders. We are now in a very good shape in terms of documentation. All airwayable, everything implemented. 2/3 of all the airwayables are electronic. All the documents are now becoming electronic. Now we have to talk about data. We are also concentrating on that part. And data, utilizing and sharing data within stakeholders, we have to be like Turgut Bey mentioned in the inaugural speech, competitiveness, but connected competitiveness. All stakeholders, none of them is monopoly, and we don't want it. We want competitiveness, but connected competitiveness, which can be done by sharing the data in a good way, utilizing in a good way. That's what we are also trying to achieve from our side.
Very interesting word, connected competitiveness. The lady, she's having a wonderful day with technology. Started yesterday. Let us.
Now it works.
Works?
Maybe
No. No. Maybe use the other one.
Okay, now probably everyone can hear me. So, no, very good insights, but I think very important is we're discussing about the ecosystem, that we need to find the overall layer of how we can all connect the different kind of stakeholders. And we as an airline, we of course sit in the middle. So the shipper sends it, at some point it comes to us, and then it goes to the co-signee. But I think with digitalization, especially with one record, things have already started. We at Finnair Cargo are extremely proud that we have been part of this journey from the beginning on. Digitalization for us in Finland in general plays a very, very important role. So our interest as an airline, of course, is the data transparency, as well as the efficiency that goes hand in hand, and probably not a surprise for anyone either that, of course, cost efficiency also plays a huge role in this. So there's huge costs in cargo IMP messaging as well. But most important for all of us, the customer is always at the center point as well. So what does the customer really need? And if we have a data layer covering all of these kind of functions, then we're able to also provide a product which is much more valuable for the customers as well. We at Finnair Cargo are specialized in the cold chain, so a lot of Pharma, a lot of Norwegian salmon, a lot of live king crab. If we have parameters already with customs, or if something in the ULD has broken or something, that we could actually react already before the cargo actually arrives at a terminal, will give each and every one of us an advance as well. So that's why I would very much like to go away from this thinking, will it harm me on this and this? But I think we need to have this overall positive picture as well. How do we benefit from that? And one thing, I think with one record, it's a big word already. I think the rocket has left the launch pad, definitely. We have to just really make sure in which direction our rocket is really taking off. And more we hear and talk, and we need to talk about sustainability. This is a very, very important topic for us as well, to protect also the environment for the people to come in the next generation. But with one record as well, we would be much easier able as well to get CO2 emission reporting as well, which is nowadays almost impossible as well. So that's why from an airline perspective, we're very happy to engage in these kind of discussions. We at Finnair are part of the IATA Digital Cargo Forum as well. We have participated in multiple hackathons already to test different kind of angles as well. How do we deal, for example, with climate change, with temperatures and so on, to use this data to actually react. But technology works if we do it together, but also we need to have a fallback plan as well when technology doesn't work. So I have my own experience of coming to this country yesterday. So when technology is there, it's great, but when it doesn't work, we need to have a plan B for that as well.
Plan B is always important for everything in this world. Anna, don't leave the mic. I'll stay with you. I told you I will not ask you many questions, so we'll keep it with you for a bit. So, I mean, all of you spoke a little bit about the e-available part. So I would just like to deliberate a little bit on it. I think globally we are roughly between 85 and 90% e-available adoption today. Took off in 2010, but took a very slow start. It's not just e-available adoption was not just dependent on one stakeholder. It required the right ERP systems, you know, for every freight forwarding company to have on their own, the airlines to be able to connect, provide the e-available solutions themselves, and also connect into the terminal operations, the airports, and more importantly, the regulatory framework. So the governments had to allow and accept that they can take e-available as a valid document. So over the years, how have you seen and where do you see currently with 85, 90% adoption? So where do you see is that piece where probably how quickly can we get to 100%?
Well, we could get there very fast if we would all be aligned, let's put it this way. So we at Finnair Cargo have 100% e-available in Finland, so we have made that switch because I think it's very important as well. We sometimes think that paper and a stamp, that's the legal binding document, but EAA bills, even if we still put the paper in there, the electronic EAA bill is, of course, the legal binding document as well. So for us, probably in Northern Europe, it's a little bit more common to work like that. So we're extremely proud that we have gotten to the point as well, because it also improves our efficiency. That's no surprise there. We do see still some challenges that not all countries are adopting it in the same speed, or let alone regulations are hindering us to go at a faster speed. So for us as well, we are over 75% globally with 100% in Finland, but there is still a long way now as well to get to the 100%. But I think the EAA bill has given us a very good layer towards one record as well, because these kind of things, it's a data transparency layer. This cannot be done overnight, but this is giving us maybe also the confidence that we can do this in this industry. So I personally come from a very, very extensive background in passenger sales, so I only joined this beautiful world of cargo 2 years ago. I was told this is a bright side, it is, but in digital there is quite a lot we still have to speed up as well. So I really hope that when we sit here next year or in a couple of years, that we have actually gotten to the next stage and most certainly are not afraid of getting sometimes into the unknown in terms of technology.
Sure, I think the world is taking really giant steps towards 100% adoption. There were countries like Brazil which were totally off it, and now they've mandated 100% on the e-Aviabil platform. Let me just put this question to you, Kunal, first, and then I'll go to Halit and ask him the same thing. How do you see the e-Aviabil connectivity, and where do you actually see the challenge? I want to know where is that I want everybody to take back with them, where is that challenge? Which stakeholder, or what is that missing piece that can get us 100% soonest?
I think, Yash, one thing what we need to understand is no one likes to do data double entry, okay? If they're forced to do, then only they would want to do. If they have the solutions where whatever they are using to create probably their airway bill, and if there is a mechanism where that same data can flow to the airlines, everyone would love to do that. Coming on to the challenge, all right, in our system, let me take an example of my system. I think we had e-Aviabil functionality. It has been there in my system for donkey long years now. Biggest challenge is the trade-off in the mindset of people, whether if you pay $1 and simply your information can flow from whatever you've done in a click to the airline, is that a saving, or you still want to have more and more people manually keying in that data? So over the years, what we've seen is the mindset has changed, all right? Many of our customers have adopted these tools which can simply help them to make sure that data repetitive work is not there. There are still many airlines which are not on a single system. They still want them to come on their system and do it. And of course, I mean, my customers do not have the power to change them. But I think what I've seen is that overall, eventually, all airlines will be at one place wherein, see, it's simply about, I mean, it's benefiting the forwarder, it's benefiting the airlines, and in the end, the turnaround time is better, right? So I think the adoption, as Anna rightly said, is there, but getting it to the 100% is something which is going to be a dream to be achieved.
If I may,
yeah.
Where does the problem lie? A simple answer to that is the problem lies in our own minds in between the 2 years. Because all this, justification about, good old ways of doing things and so on and so forth, is simple inertia. Yeah, and I know Brazil is now being almost forced to get onto the own bandwagon. Yeah. But it's not about their inability, it's not about their incapability or non-availability of capacity. In fact, if at all, the capacity will get released by doing airway bills. Yeah. Mm. So it's a mindset issue, in my opinion. That's what I feel.
So it's the people. It's the people where the inertia lies, and that not willingness to move forward, stay where they are in a comfort zone, is probably where you see a challenge. Kunal, is that what you were also trying to point out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say, right? There are tools, there are integrations available, but yes, these tools and integrations come at a cost. And if you think investing in these tools is an investment and not a cost, that's where the real change will happen. So that's what mindset is all about, right? If you still think that manual is the right way, I'll get 5 more people to do the same thing, then we are never going to change, very honestly.
So yeah, obviously, when you talk about creating the right infrastructure, you're also talking about upskilling your workforce to be able to have that capability to transact and accept. First is to accept and then transact in a digital way. Definitely, we'll come back to the API piece to you, but I will take your mind into the API piece. So how do you see integrating with the different stakeholders as a shipper?
See, before getting into the APIs,
Yeah, I think
yeah. Before getting into the APIs on e-airwayable, so we've all been talking about very idealistic situation where we had to get technology into it, there has to be seamless flow and things like that. But one common thing that is a deterrent to this is basically, let us say that I have my own subsidiary in US. So I can trust and then I can have an e-airwayable system and do. But in the reality world, we don't live in that world. So why is the letter of credit there? It's basically because the trust between this. And airwayable has not been given, e-airwayable has not been given, it has not been recognized as a document of title as of today. So that may be a major deterrent, so in terms of that. But what is the workaround situation around that is probably that we have some interface system which gives a legality to it and see that it is made legally binding on the person issuing the airwayable and the shipper also to see that he transfers the ownership while the data is being transferred. We are talking about data transfer and title transfer. By way of a data transfer, if we are supposed to transfer the title, there has to be a legality to it which is provided across the world, not because we are talking about cross-border trade today. So unless we have that system facilitated by the governments, and then actually WTO has to give, there are various Carriage of Goods Act, IATA Act, and things like that. All these things have to be legalized before we get onto a stage where e-waybill can be recognized as a document of title to goods. So the fundamentals of how we are going to adapt and give a safe transfer of goods by data transfer is the key to having this, actually giving more traction to it. So that's the thing. So as far as the API is concerned, what's your question?
No, yeah. I mean, integrating yourself with the stakeholders.
Yeah. Integrating ourselves with the stakeholder basically is that, actually, while all the major companies are in a legacy ERP system, so while the legacy ERP system works on certain high-end variables that we have, so integrating it to adapt to the external interfaces is a real challenge because the data structure between the legacy ERP as well as the external softwares, so it's something which does not have a common structure. So that is a pain point because we have recently gone into integrating our software with a company, so whereby we work on S/4HANA. Incidentally, in the fashion domain, Raymond is the first company who has implemented S/4HANA in the fashion industry in the world. So it was incubated in Raymond in our Bangalore plant. So now, as a first step, actually we are talking about the digitization of document, digitalization of the data, and automating the process. These are the 3 steps that we are talking about. Digitizing documents is something which is fundamental to any company. Digitalizing the data is something where what we talk about, you have the bill of entry and the shipping bills. Bill of entry and shipping bills. A bill of entry could have something like around some 200 data points. If you see the serial numbers, you have 200 data points. Each one has its own importance in the declaration. So how do you seamlessly integrate into your database in S/4HANA? So that is one thing that we have gone ahead with. And then that you need for your data management, for data analysis. So all this data available in the declaration is seamlessly brought onto your structured database. Similarly, your shipping bill also. So that is the first level of digitalization of the data. Automating the process is basically how you are able to automate the invoice generation, all the document generation. Multiple customers have various invoices which have to be customized to their. So how do you integrate all these things in a seamless manner, and how SAP can be migrated to a specific software where you can integrate the data and attune it to the customer's requirement. So this is one interface that we have. What we have not addressed is basically the logistics. So in terms of airline, airway bill, and things like that. So one point what I have already addressed is giving a legality to it. The full fruit of what we are talking about,
Sure.
digitalization and seamless thing is that how seamlessly we are able to move, digitalizing, automating, and interfacing with the airline industry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, you've pointed out to the right journey in an organization at a shipper's place, that how do you move from a paper to a digital or a data form, so that's your step one, and then you could move on the integration piece later. First, it's all internal. You need to sort your internal piece, get everything which is currently maybe fragmented in the organization, how you put it on a data form and move forward. When you spoke about the legal tender or legal title of the negotiability of the document, obviously there are steps that have been taken around the world. We have about 40 countries who have contributed towards creating a negotiable airway bill. Although it's not ratified yet by most countries around the world, they will go through their own process of maybe ratifying that the airway bill can become a negotiable document, and then we talk of whether it's on paper or e-form. I'll come to you, Halit, and you've been sitting silent. So I want to understand from you on the API piece. How do you see this as a challenge for an airline to do an API integration with the different stakeholders? Because airline sits right in the center, and I spoke about it, you sit right in the center. Everybody connects into you, right? So how do you see this challenge of integrating your systems with the others all around the world at all airports that you operate?
First of all, it's not working.
Use this. You need a freight forwarder.
Thank you so much. Yes, we always need you. Thank you for your support. API is not optional, by the way, for a long time now. It's a must in our industry, and we are well aware of it from long time. We are integrating our systems with all stakeholders, and we have a separate team other than the Turkish technology company that we, for 100% Turkish Airlines, doing this. We have separate management in our cargo management, doing these integrations with all stakeholders. What we are lacking behind is from the underdeveloped countries. Like India, we have iSkate, Sanjit, and we have platforms like Kunal's, and that kind of examples should be implemented in other countries. We already did 60, 70, maybe 80%, and it's already automated with the AI and the other tools. APIs become more easier. Just the example should be implemented in the 20% that has not been done yet.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought that you said, that you could take the best practices from all countries around the world and probably create a document as an airline that, okay, this is the best practice that we adopted in India. You spoke about iSgate or eSanchit, all those good practices that have been adopted, say, in India or Japan or US or anywhere in the world, Finland, and probably create a little document which can be a guiding light to various ecosystems, various different ecosystems all around the world, and they could just cut, copy, paste, instead of trying to do everything from the start. Because, like we said, we need the entire world to function seamless. If we want to compete with those new age e-tailers of the world, who today have the power of eliminating all of us, not just one of us. So if we want to compete with them 10 years from now, we really need to bring in our ecosystem to integrate really seamlessly very well. So since you picked up the point of the customs and the e-regulations, I will just like to pick up your pieces of how has the customs around the world, because regulatory is the biggest challenge in the digital piece. We can talk about a lot of technology, a lot of different tools, but the regulatory framework has sometimes been a hindrance. So how do you see that as a factor towards you guys? Halit, starting with you.
Yeah, I see them very cooperative, actually. I see them attending all the events, being very cooperative lately.
Only in the events or otherwise?
No, not only in the events, but otherwise also they are very cooperative. And aware of being able to utilize the potential of their countries and invite more shippers, customers, seamless move of goods. It's essential for them to adopt this. So we are in a good way in terms of customs and other regulatory bodies. They are very cooperative. We have a good positive view, we can say.
It's very interesting. We have Turgut here, so I want to use him. Okay, so give me your mic. I'm going to use him. He's with IATA and obviously dealing with a lot of customs around the world. So how do you see the regulatory framework, Turgut? Are you seeing that? Are they coming forward and working with the various logistics stakeholders of the world and trying to build, really integrate? Or, like he said, they're always only attending good events?
Well, thank you, Yashpal, for this opportunity. Indeed, yes, the customs authorities all around the world are trying to harmonize. It is actually one of the viewpoints of the World Customs Organization. And in World Customs Organization, we have a special body, public-private partnership, or private working group, if you like, that they are listening to what private sector is looking for, the problems, and then they are trying to bring the solutions for that. This is actually one of the main concerns of IATA, that we are trying to bring the harmonization and standardization in the system, because, well, at the end of the day, it is same procedures, same data, same regulations actually all around the world.
Yeah.
Why should we have this fragmentation in different legislations, different countries? So imagine a scenario that, okay, I will give an example from my country. When you are trucking a cargo from Turkey to Europe, so you make a declaration in the Turkish side while leaving the country, and then you do another declaration while entering to Bulgaria, for instance. Same data set, everything is same, but you have to duplicate the procedure. We don't need those things. So
Right.
if we eliminate those problems all around the world, the effect for the increase of the trade is 3%. Only by eliminating this burdens procedures. So the basic idea behind this is the regulatory framework. And within the regulatory framework, we need to bring the standardization into system.
It's very interesting what you said. I'll take your mic. This was just to tell everybody I can come to anybody, so stay awake. Well, it's very interesting when he spoke about these working groups that are getting created by customs around the world to see how they can integrate. And obviously, it's the same set of data flowing all the way. And if the customs around the world could make it more easier for people to transact with each other, I mean, probably there is a little bit more of trust that needs to flow in apart from the data technology capabilities, which will help us. So I'll come back to the shippers on this piece, that how do you see the customs and the regulatory framework in India? You know, we talk a lot about the e-invoice, the e-KYC, you know. Today in the banking world, we have a common KYC that you can do. You don't need to do the KYC in every bank anymore. They give you your number. So why does a shipper today need to do a separate KYC with every custom broker or every freight forwarder or every airport, airline still in this? So how do you see a positive change coming in and making it easier for you to not just transact with customs here, but, you know, sending out your data across the world so you have easier flow of your goods?
So in my past experience, B2B businesses have been actually laggards in terms of adopting technology, right? When you talk about, let's say, Aadhaar authentication for an individual in a financial world, when I am doing very heavy transactions or somebody is wanting to do a credit check, there's an OTP which comes onto my mobile phone and the credit check is done and I can get a bank loan of $100,000 and so on and so forth. So historically, the B2C businesses have been much fast adopters than the B2B businesses. Yeah? And I mean, it's a shame, as I was telling you, that, you know, if I am ordering a 200 rupee book, I get the complete, as they call it, Janam Kundli of the whole thing, the history, geography. But then it's the same thing, you know, my customer who has ordered $1 million worth of goods, he doesn't get to know the whole history and geography of that particular thing. It's the same story here too, in terms of the customs authorities and the regulatory authorities. They need a little more collaboration. They've just started. That's my opinion within the country. Also, because there are multiple airports being operated by multiple private operators, that brings an additional level of complexity. But in today's world of technology, people talk of agentic AI, and I am digressing a little bit. You talk about an agentic AI, an agentic AI agent is supposed to do a particular task, yeah, very well. There could be multiple agents doing multiple tasks, and an orchestrating AI, which is orchestrating all these, individual agents of AI. Now, that's the stage where I would like to see the enterprises adopting, I would say, digital form of paper or transaction of data or all those kinds of things.
Great points, sir. I mean, you spoke about, various airports adopting different community systems. Kunal, I would like to take your thoughts on this, running a new age software systems. I mean, we were talking of a common community network, but today we see all airports of the world having their own different cargo community systems, not really API integrating with everybody around the world. What's your take on this? Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Let me start by talking about API first, because I had a lot of thoughts on that. See, API, okay, fancy thing, but it's all about data sharing between two systems, all right? Now, two systems not necessarily can be connected in a very tight manner. And we have realized this problem, okay? And that's the reason why we created something called as a data highway around our system, wherein our users can seamlessly get connected to anyone in this ecosystem. Now, either I can wait for an API to be there. Let's say today I wait for an SAP to build an API. If they don't have an API, then I need to figure it out as a tech company in order to connect my system to that system. Because the customers I serve, right, they are being pushed by the shippers to connect their systems to my system, which is their digital backbone for these freight forwarders. Now, either I can wait for this APIs to be there, or I can figure out my own way by creating that data highway. See, in the end, it's all about making sure that what this system can take as an output and what that system can take as an input. It could be API, it could be simply sharing an XML, these are the technical terms more, but it's all about data sharing, right? That point on the API. Second, I tend to agree with Turgit on harmonization, because I was just doing a podcast with Samir Shah, is one of the veterans in the customs clearance. Harmonization is happening. He told me he's an advisor, right, at the WCO. So he has been, he spoke to me about how the trust element needs to be built between two countries in order to trigger that harmonization. But yes, things are not going to happen overnight, right? Now, I can wait, or then I have to provide a solution to my customers. And on the front of making sure that what we are doing for custom clearance, I think custom clearance is one of the weakest link in the entire supply chain, right? That goes for a toss. Your entire experience of this life cycle of a cargo can go for a toss, right? That's the weakest link in the entire supply chain. Now, yes, harmonization is happening, but what are we doing in terms of making life easier for a custom broker? What is the biggest pain point of a custom broker? So, with due respect, many of the shippers do not even have a standardized format of invoices, all right? With due respect, I'm sure Pharma and Raymond's are very well ahead. They have systems, but let's be real. Most of the shippers do not have a standardized format. Now, this becomes a pain point for the custom broker, all right? What is he supposed to do? As his volumes increase, keep on adding more people, coming back to my point before? No, right? That's not a sustainable way. So in our capacity, what we've done is, because of AI, and especially agentic AI, now 2 years, 3 years back, every format had to be trained on the model, which was called the OCR model. Now with AI, that is out of the window. With AI, it is learning more with more the documents you feed. So today, my customers who are doing custom clearance, they do not have to, come to me, train the model, give me 5 different formats from 5 different shippers. No. All they can do is simply upload the document and their data entry is done. It's as simple as that. So yes, harmonization will happen, and we all are more than happy towards that. But what as a tech company I can do is ease off the pain for my customers for the moment, which is the pain of the moment, right? So that's my thoughts.
Interesting point of creating a digital tech highway around where everybody can come in and share their information. You know, what you just spoke about, this challenge of, I mean, for me, custom brokerage is actually not the problem. What you said is how the custom broker gets fed and how it is able to integrate with the custom systems is the challenge. I think custom brokers have gone way ahead of, you know, I think they were really early adopters of technology because they were having to face the brunt of what was the missing link around us. You know, the custom brokers were the city and everybody was wanting to stay on the highway. Nobody wanted to come into the city. So that was the problem. But talking about the problem of the various different cargo community systems, I'm sure we have some airports here. It is so very important to have a common community system. Even if they want to have, the airports want to have their own individual systems, I don't really have a problem with it. As a freight forwarder, I really don't have a problem with it. All I want is everybody in this world to have open APIs. I want every system in the world to be able to talk to each other. We need technology. We need technology that does not have barriers to integrate. That, for me, is the biggest challenge.
But who bears the cost?
Well, the business bears the cost.
You know, people should also have that mindset that, okay, that this cost, if distributed equally, we will be much more faster in our development towards this ecosystem, which we all would love to have. But is everyone aligned on the same page?
No, that's the problem. So that's why I'm saying everybody is looking at this piece. Who bears the cost? The cost is your product cost. For me, when you're investing in your technology, it's like investing in your new infrastructure. If a shipper tomorrow says they're not going to, if they want to invest in a new product research, for example, if Raymond says, I want to build a new fabric, but somebody has to bear the cost of building that fabric, then the starting point is wrong. So likewise, if a carrier, if a custom broker, if a freight forwarder, everybody wants to pass on the cost to somebody and look for where the starting point is wrong. I think the starting point is efficiency. That's what we need to look at. We need to bring in more efficiency to improve efficiency in the entire ecosystem. We need to invest. We need to invest in ourselves to remain future relevant. So that's my point. Anna, let's wake you up. So again, being a large carrier from around the world, what are the biggest challenges that you see in integrating with various systems around the world?
Yes, of course, there are various systems as an airline, as we have pointed out before, because we sit right in the middle. But what we think as well is to keep in mind that this is a team sport as well. And we just talked about efficiency as well. But I think the transparency should bring us to that stage that each and everyone in our value chain would be interested in investing. Yes, we just spoke about it. It comes with a cost, but it's an investment as well. So probably right now, we are always talking about it. It is not a distant future anymore. I think that's important. So it's not like just a slogan we have, maybe one record or in general digitalization, but that we take this forward, and even if there are smaller steps. So I think the community, all kinds of working groups, discussions like this as well, our audience, to take that back as a thinking as well, like what can each and everyone in the supply chain contribute to that? It comes with challenges, of course, but it comes with more opportunities than it comes with challenges. But for us, being based in Finland, we're the happiest country in the world, but not the most populated one. And we are at a very good standing.
India can help.
Exactly. Well, it's one less there right now. So, but of course, we are the major carrier in Helsinki. So for us, the ecosystem looks very, very different as well. So because we need to be neutral as well. So that's why I think big hubs like Singapore or nowadays all these e-commerce hubs in Europe, I think it even plays a more important role to get integrated as well when we look at all the e-commerce shipments and everything around the world, because in the end, the customer is at the center of it. But it is a stepping stone what we're doing already, but it comes with its own challenges. But the challenges overrule the possibilities where we're going to be going.
Perfect. I want to give the audience some time for a Q&A, but before that, I want to give you 30 seconds each. I want to hear one wish list. One wish list that you would like to see in a genie doing it for the ecosystem. How can we make it better? So 30 seconds. Let's start with you, Halit.
It starts at the origin.
Sorry?
Origin. Origin means the shipper, the forwarder there, the airline, the airport authority, the customs. The origins should have a system that the documents are uploaded and everything is checked throughout the ecosystem, that everything is compliant and green light to all stakeholders go at the same time. Commercially also the same system can be developed somehow. If we start at the origin in the right way, I think the rest will go.
So origination of data, the paper needs to go, so you don't even need an AI tool to upload or capture the data. If the data is coming in from the origin, it flows seamlessly. That's what you want.
Yes.
Anna, we'll go like this.
My wish list is a little bit longer, so
We'll give you 40
I still
seconds.
see I can speak for 8 minutes, but I will not take everyone's time on that one. But definitely, and we have heard this today very much, is also AI. So I would like to see an integration AI with One Record as well. How amazing would it be, like mentioned before as well, if a shipment is not arriving, can we use predictions as well in the future? So all kinds of this information which will help our supply chain in general. And then, yes, we need to have an open mind as well to what is coming, and really hoping our industry has a lot of great talent, but we also need to work on that the new generation is interested in our industry. So we need to have an open mind to take the next step, because that will also be the attraction for the generation to come as well.
So what I pick from you is predictability for probably capacity deployment. That's what I pick from you, that you want the data to be strong enough to be able to give you good predictive analytics.
Predictive, exactly,
Yeah.
and that we can react much faster. So
Sure.
once something goes sideways, we don't need to wait for when it doesn't arrive in the terminal, or we have temperature deviations and so on, that we can use that kind of data to already react and to inform our customers and to make a conclusive decision about that as well.
So
that would
the
be
jobs of the route planner is going away. The predictive analytics will reset how the next flight has to operate, where it has to operate. Route planner's gone.
No, the beautiful thing about our industry, when it goes up, it really goes up. When it goes down, it goes
Plan
really
B.
down.
You need plan B.
So that's why the prediction will always be difficult, but at least it should help us to make these
Sure.
kind of
Better
decisions,
decision.
better decision
Got it.
making.
Kunal?
Yeah, out of my 1 million points of my wish list, I think the top 3 are, everyone in this ecosystem should start looking at technology from an investment point of view and not from a cost point of view. Otherwise, their dream of digitalizing and then getting intelligent is always going to be a dream, nothing else. Second point, my wish is that every stakeholder in this ecosystem adopts AI in the same manner. It cannot be that shippers adopt AI and then forwarders don't, and then airlines midway. No, it has to be an even adoption of AI. And third, again, accepting AI tools, keeping in mind that these will bring in the efficiencies and make sure that their manpower can be reassembled or realigned to do something else. All of the things which are repetitive in nature can be taken care by AI, and they can realign their workforce to do something better, something more productive, which is going to help them probably get more business or probably have a more alignment within their ecosystem.
So AI should do most work. We can all go and sit on a beach and sip a beer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Go to Bali and have a beer.
Well, we can choose whatever place we want to go. Sriniji?
Yeah, so this is like orchestrated AI, what he was talking about. And I think one of the points which he made is also one of my wishes, that don't look at it only as a expense item, technology. Technology is an investment for the future. Do it with a leap of faith. Just like we send our children to the best of the schools, we don't count our ROI on those kinds of investments. I would suggest that, AI is that kind of a leap of faith, or technology is that kind of a leap of faith, which you should invest in as much as you want to kind of invest for the education of your children. That's the only wish I have, I would say.
Mr. Sampath?
Oh, yeah, actually, I take a leave out of what Srini is saying, but only thing is that we place AI in the right place, because most of the, I read a recent research, actually, where I was told that 95% of the organizations, actually, they have not seen an improvement in bottom line by usage of AI. The corollary or the reason why it was assigned, basically they came up with this thing was it was misplaced. AI is not being used in the right place. So that is one of the things that I would go ahead with what Kunal is saying, that basically because we have to adopt AI in the way that it has to be there in the right places, because AI has become a buzzword today. So it's not a buzzword. So actually we'll have to take it as an imperative to see that we improve our efficiencies, number one. But the ultimate wish list, what I would like to have is how we are able to create the seamless flow of information on a real-time basis to the ultimate customer. So in case we are able to adapt to it, number one. Number two is that legality is what I spoke. If all of them are able to converge together to see that we give a legality to it and see that we make the trade easier for the customer, for the shareholder, the shipper, for the airline in terms of, actually transfer of goods. So in terms of, there is a risk also attached to it. Marine insurance comes into play. So there are a lot of legalities involved in it where actually, the e-way bill, again, e-airway bill is not recognized as this. As you rightly said, 40 countries have adopted to it. So probably there must be some traction around that to see that when a shipper or a customer is placing an order, so the movement is as safe as possible with a digital adoption, to see how we are able to see that the information is on a real time. So this is the ultimate wish list that I would have on this.
Thank you very much. So 40 countries have not adopted it, but they've contributed towards creating the negotiability. I mean, it's still to be ratified by the countries around the world. I want to open up this for a quick 2 or 3 questions. I think we have 3 or 4 minutes. Ayushi is standing here. So anybody who has questions, I see some hands up. Please identify yourself. And I would request you only questions, not points. If you could point it out to the right panelist, and they'll be happy to reply to you.
Hi, I'm Israr from Air Cargo Update.
Can you identify yourself?
Israr from Air Cargo Update.
Okay.
Yeah, it is nice to see that people talking about seamless, transformation of information passing to the ecosystem. It's all nice, but how is cybersecurity governance structured at the board level? Is cybersecurity spending treated as a strategic investment or rather than the IT cost? Do you have any kind of a framework for cyber resilience across most critical assets?
You're talking about cybersecurity, right?
Yep.
Anybody wants to take up that question?
Yeah, I think cybersecurity, and let me segue that into data security as well, are the two most element for any company for that matter, all right? Now, an email can also be hacked. Your systems can be hacked. And that is where trusting the right technology partner comes into the play, because A, you should have the right people within your company to manage your infrastructure. It could be your email infrastructure, it could be your website. I mean, right now, infiltration can be from anywhere, right? And the second part is the tool or the software, or much rather the softwares which you're using. Let's say if you're on a disintegrated ecosystem, you're screwed, but you need data security all across that. But if you're on a single system, then you need to partner with the right technology partner who is ensuring all the ISO certificates are in check, who is ensuring the penetration testing is being done regularly, who is ensuring that there is a DR system, which is called the disaster recovery system, not as a facade, but as a reality. So I think to answer your question, yes, companies are becoming more and more careful about it. The first one, cybersecurity, is more internal, and data security and cybersecurity for their system is dependent on their technology partner.
So thank you, Kunal. Ayushi is pointing that we don't have much time. But I mean, just to add to what Kunal has just mentioned, while various organizations are building their own firewalls against the various cyber threats that they have individually, and one of the challenges that I see with APIs around the world with different stakeholders is this piece, the cyber piece on the other side. While you may create all the necessary firewalls to cyber protect yourself, the other stakeholder who you're API integrating with, if there is a compromise in their systems, that could lead to a problem at you. And and I see a lot of companies around the world who are doing the integration piece. They're working not just at solidifying their own firewalls, but also seeing how, when the integration and the transfer of data is happening between the two systems, how they're making sure that they make the right protection to that. The second layer is, of course, about the cyber insurances. Various companies around the world, they're making sure that they take those rightful cyber insurances to manage any leakage financially on the data system. So, any quick points from you guys on the cyber? Because we're not going to take. I'm sorry, she's saying we cannot take more questions. But anything on the cyber point, or we just all good? Thank you very much, lovely panel. Thank you very much for your points. Ladies and gentlemen, digitalization will walk as fast as you want it to walk. It will move as fast as you want it to move. You have to look and work with those stakeholders, those partners, those vendors, those customers around the world, which help you to fast-track transacting with them. Sometimes choosing the right customer is not about the kind of business they have, but it's the kind of technological advancements that they have in their systems and how quickly they will be able to churn more business with you. If I'm able to work with a shipper, with all due respects, if I'm able to work with a shipper who is able to do 10 transactions with me in a minute, vis-a-vis I'm able to do business with a shipper who takes 10 minutes to do one transaction, the choice is mine. So we need to make sure the entire ecosystem works well. We look at e-Available as a starting point, just as a starting point, that it's one document which is today at about 90% adaptability, will hopefully soon be 100%. But how do we take it forward, whether it is through a blockchain technology or through various automations in our different equipments? How can we bring in more predictability? How can we empower that customer, that end customer who's going to use the product, the user, to be able to design the entire supply chain? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being a lovely audience. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a very enlightening session. I now request Mr. Mohit Mewani to join us on stage to felicitate our remarkable industry leaders and present them with a token of appreciation, along with our remarkable moderator, Mr. Yashpal Sharma.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We would first like to felicitate Mr. Halit Tuncer from Turkish Cargo.
Sir, I'll come.
Next, we would like to felicitate Ms. Anna Maria Kirchner from Finnair Cargo.
Thank you, Halit.
Next, we would like to felicitate Mr. Kunal Maheshwari from Softlink Global.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you.
Next, we would like to felicitate Mr. Sreenivas Nandigam from Pharma. Next, we would like to felicitate Mr. R. Sampath Raghavan from Lifestyle Limited, Garmenting Division. Now I request Mr. Mivani to felicitate our remarkable moderator for this session, Mr. Yashpal Sharma. Can we have a group photograph? I request all the panelists to come in the center of the stage, please. Thank you.